48.
Any of them? Just pick one. Spin the wheel.
Pick one.
I don't remember which one's 14 is supposed to be.
2 through, what was that,
4,
14?
6, I don't know. What?
2 through 14, what's that?
Can we go over 14?
14.
You're gonna have like a board, bunch of like balls fall out of that there, like juggle balls.
14, find Randall Kramer's average monthly expenditure. If his expenses were, so on this one, this is coming from, it's like some review from way back. Expenses were $14.23. $11.64.
1987.
Thank you. If you're trying to find the average monthly expenditure, what do you do with those three? And once you add them, then you divide it by what?
The number of numbers, so 3.
So do that. Just looking at them, I'm guessing it's around 1,500. Is that pretty close? What'd it come out to be?
$1,524.66.
Ignore that. 66 cents.
Yeah, but around 67.
Remember when we were doing monthly expenditures? Probably for a budget or something, trying to see how much we should budget for that certain item per month. Other questions? Nope. Just ready to go, Aiden?
Sure, why not?
Again, we should be able to get this all done. I think it took me, when I did this assignment, it took me about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Can I
Not
have
very
extra
difficult.
paper?
I got some paper.
Up there.
I can't read lips. How much do you need?
Car insurance and maintaining your car. What we're gonna deal with today is just car insurance. That chart, we're gonna use it, and everything else is pretty easy. If you just look at the chart. I'm not sure, doesn't that screen look sort of fuzzy? Does it look a little lighter than normal?
A little bit, yeah.
Or you just might be going blind.
That's part of it, but Mr. Poole came in and fixed my projector yesterday, and ever since it's not looked as bright as it once was.
It's definitely a little dark.
I don't know.
I somehow already did this.
Yeah, you might have these notes, because these are what I gave you last time.
Yeah.
When you're getting insurance for your car, gotta know what you're getting. All right, there's so many just ridiculous insurance companies now that you see on TV and everything, and you have no idea if you're getting anything actually worth anything. And especially for the first part there, liability insurance. So if you're in a wreck and you cause damage to somebody else's property or damage to another person, you're liable. You're gonna have to pay for it, and you gotta know if you have enough insurance to pay for it. right? A lot of times, you see all those silly commercials on TV and on the radio, hear them on the radio and everything, about all these other insurance companies. You can get cheap insurance from somewhere. Now, if you're in one wreck, and it happens to be your fault, that cheap insurance probably isn't gonna do you a whole lot of good. So, as you get out and you have to worry about that, don't just get the insurance because it's cheap. Know what you're getting. All right, so I know on the paper there, it talks about some of the things at the top, and we'll go over that little chart. It discusses, or it has up there like 50,000, or the first one I think is 2550, isn't it? The first one's 2550, and it tells you on there, I think the 25,000 is for property damage, and then the 50,000 is for bodily injury. Is that what it says on the side? $50,000 of bodily injury, not enough. If you're in a wreck, Aiden causes a wreck, and he hurts somebody in another car or whatever, and that person has to be care flighted, the 50,000 is gone right there.
Isn't it like 100,000 to get care flight?
And that's all they're covering. So everything else, all the hospital bills and everything are gonna come out of your pocket. So you've got to make sure that you have enough. The 25,000. You wreck and hit Farmer John and he just bought a brand new big F-350. Is $25,000 gonna cover the cost for that truck?
Not gonna be close.
That's not even gonna be close. All right, so the insurance company's gonna pay $25,000, and then you're gonna be stuck for the rest of it. All right, and not to mention, what's that insurance company gonna do to you a month later? Maybe, if you're lucky. 'Cause probably 9 times out of 10, if it's you guys, your age, they're not gonna jack your rate up, they're gonna cut you completely. They're just gonna say, oh, we're gonna pay this off and then we're done with you. So, you've got to make sure that when you get insurance, that you have enough, and this chart is old. Again, our books are pretty old. I don't even know if an insurance company today would offer the 2550. If they do, then it's probably not an insurance company that you want to be getting your insurance through, because they're probably not a very good insurance company. So liability provides protection for the policyholder. So you get the insurance and you're covered if you happen to get in an accident and it's your fault. You run off the road and you tear down somebody's fence as you run off the road, you're covered. The one time I wrecked, wasn't really a wreck, but I got off work and I had worked like 15 hours that day, and I got off work and I had an old piece of junk, it was a 1967 pickup truck, all rusted out and everything, and right next to our driveway was a fire hydrant. And I was real tired and stuff, and
You kissed the fire hydrant, didn't you?
I backed up and I hit the fire hydrant. Didn't even hurt it. I got out and looked and everything, didn't hurt it or anything, because I didn't hit it that hard, because I was just backing up in my driveway and trying to turn around. And got out, looked at it, jumped back in, ran uptown, because all I was doing was, I had called and ordered pizza from a place there in El Dorado, and was going up to pick up my dinner. Got back, and our yard's flooded. Well, the thing with a fire hydrant, which I didn't know, it's got a safety valve on it that's like 15 feet down in the ground. And on that safety valve, what happens, so that the top part of the fire hydrant never gets hurt, it just lets it sort of knock over. And then that safety valve at the bottom breaks. And it's cheaper for them to replace the safety valve than it is the part that you actually see of the fire hydrant. Well, it's it's cheaper to replace that safety valve. The safety valve's only a couple $100, fire hydrant's a few $1,000s.
You should just back up and do it again.
Right, and what happened is, for them to dig it out and everything, it cost me like 20 grand. So, it wasn't cheaper for me, but it was cheaper for them. So, but that, it was completely my fault, and that's what liability covers. Liability insurance covers that. A lot of you, that may be the only insurance you have. You might only have liability coverage, all right? If you got some older car or whatever, you might only have liability insurance. If you have a car that you have a loan on, you have to carry more than liability. You can't just carry liability, because the bank's not gonna allow you to wreck the car and say, well, I'm not paying you for it now, it's totaled, I don't know, it's no good to me. So they gotta have other. Collision insurance pays for damage to the insured vehicle caused by a collision with another motor vehicle or an object such as a telephone pole, so on and so on. So collision insurance is insurance that actually covers your car. Liability covers the other people, all right? Do you have a question, Skylar?
It was kind of a stupid question. I was gonna ask if fire hydrants were really for like firemen, or if they were just like like through the city kind of thing. Then I thought about it and I was like, well, that sounds kind of stupid.
There's some, in the old days, they were for the firemen, because in the old days, you wouldn't have had the big pump trucks like they have now in every little town. So you just haul the fire trucks out and then have the hose, and you hook the hose up to the fire hydrant. Nowadays, even, all the little towns around here have their own pump truck. So instead of hooking up to a fire hydrant, 90% of the time, the water's already on the truck.
Still a question,
Yep.
doesn't always hurt to ask.
Unless it really makes you look stupid.
Comprehensive insurance.
You can only go for a little bit.
Yeah.
Comprehensive insurance pays for damage to the insured vehicle
Like everything that comes out.
from losses due to fire, vandalism, theft, and just about any cause other than a collision. With comprehensive insurance, I put like hitting a deer down there. Comprehensive insurance, I always carry this. There's two things that I always make sure that's on my insurance plans. One of them is coverage for hitting a deer. There's a specific thing on there, it only costs a couple dollars. I think it was like $10 a year or something like that.
Oh dear.
So, I always made sure it was on all our cars, because in this area, we have lots of deers. So I always made sure it was on there. And the other thing that I always cover, is glass breakage, which it's not as bad as it used to be. Now you can probably, and that's one of the few things in our world that the prices actually went down, probably over the last 20 years. But when I was growing up, if you broke out your front windshield or something, it was $400 or $500 to get it fixed. Now you can get it fixed for a couple hundred usually, and it's not a real big deal. But I always, if you have it's called a rider added onto your insurance, you can have glass breakage on there, and that's always come in handy for me. So that way, if a rock or something flies up and hits your window, even if it's just a little nick, you can get it fixed for nothing.
When my dad was a baseball coach for Trinidad South, they were having a game, and some guy on his team hit a pop fly backwards. And have you ever seen the way that their fields are set up? It went down the hill and like shattered my dad's windshield, and he couldn't be mad because it was like, his student, but it was bad. There was glass everywhere for months inside the car, even after we fixed it.
Yeah, if you ever break a piece of glass that goes in an automobile,
It's not coming out.
it's the little shards and everything. It's tempered glass, and they used to have showcases downstairs. You guys are too young to realize this, but, because it's been a long, long time ago. They used to have showcases downstairs and I had great big glass in them. They were right there along the gym. They pulled them out, got rid of them, got rid of some of them. And I took the glass, cause I make a lot of stuff at the house, so I took the glass home, cause hey, this pretty big sheets of glass, these are great. And I got home and I started to cut it. And I didn't realize at that time, I was quite a bit younger then, didn't realize that when you cut tempered glass, it doesn't cut like normal glass.
Spider
It,
webs.
no, it exploded.
Oh, shattered.
And it, I mean, it was like a shotgun going off. It scared the heck out of me, and I had glass
Everywhere.
like stuck in me,
Oh.
because it explodes. So,
Did you at least have goggles on?
no. I didn't get any in my eyes, so that was good. But, yeah,
We
I
got
didn't,
squint.
I didn't think nothing about it. I'd never cut a piece of tempered glass before, and
Can you just use a vacuum cleaner to clean it? It'll shred the hose. Oh.
nah, you can use a vacuum cleaner, it's just the shards stick into everything, and it's not,
You probably wanna use a shop vac.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
With-
imagine
with a
cleaning
brush
out your
on it.
own vacuum after you suck up
Yeah.
glass, you just gotta reach in there and
If-
grab it.
You wanna use a shop
if it's like in a car or something, and you are cleaning it out, and the carpeting on the floorboards, it just like sticks in it.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out, you almost have to pick it
Yeah.
out.
You can get the brush attachment on there, just.
Yeah, you can try to,
You-
Force it
yeah,
out a
just like
little bit.
wire brush, or not like a wire brush, but like, almost like those dog brushes
Yeah.
with the little spikes on them.
deductible clause is how much deductible you have. Seems like just a couple years ago that to try to get my car insurance down, we raised our deductible from, I think it was just a couple $100 in to like $1,000. So any accidents that we had, I have to pay the first 1,000, then the insurance company will pay the rest. If the accident's my fault. The higher your deductible, so the higher it is, the less everything else is gonna cost you. The chart that you guys have doesn't have the deductible and stuff on there, it's not set up that way. Oh yeah, it does have a $50 deductible, doesn't it? $50 deductible, no, probably no insurance company in the world offers a $50 deductible now. And you paying $50 isn't gonna do anything. Your annual premium is the amount you pay each year. Anybody know how much insurance they pay each year? You guys probably don't even look at it that way. I'm sure that your insurance, you look at it monthly. You don't pay any, you don't drive, because you don't drive.
Yeah.
I think mine's like 75 or something,
For,
I don't have it.
insurance. I only have liability.
for how long?
That I don't know.
I bet it's more than 75.
I have no idea what mine is.
It's all my mom told me, so I was like, okay, cool.
I bet it's more than 75.
Yeah.
Comprehensive and liability.
Yeah, because your age, I can't see any insurance.
And I do have a red card, and I know that spikes up your insurance.
I can't see any insurance company giving anybody your guys' age insurance for $75.
Really? Why is that? Cause like people our age are more liable to get into a wreck.
Yeah.
Well, we make
Glass
mistakes.
is wrong.
I mean, we're going to
Wrong
make
way.
mistakes. People, some poor guy.
Some of you more than others, Seth.
I mean, fair enough, but
Some of these sophomores
if they keep
should not be driving.
making the same mistake,
Some of
then
these-
Like, that is
That's-
sketchy out there.
Some of these seniors.
There's some of
should be
these
driving.
seniors I don't think should be
Yeah.
driving.
My bad.
Not you,
Yeah, Elijah.
No, not Elijah.
I know when I had parking lot duty, I would like,
Not
and the bad thing is, I see some of them driving and I'm thinking, number one, you're not a very good driver. Number two, why are your parents letting you drive that $50,000 truck?
Yeah.
You should be driving like a used car.
Why are they letting you drive that BMW or something?
It seems easier to do a car.
Until you hit that curve.
Yeah, until you hit that
I throw a
curve.
fit every time. I was gonna drive my wife's car today, but it was raining. I throw a fit every time that my wife lets my son
I drove my mom's car today.
drive her car to school just so he can show off.
Teachers, pardon the interruption. With the following students, please come to the high school office with your laptops. Hunter Rubush, Peyton Reynolds, Kendall Johnson, Kellen Laird, Morgan House, and Braylon Coffey. Again, please bring your laptops, come to the high school office. Thank you.
All right, what this says and what's on the chart when it says 100, 300 like this, the 100 is 100,000, so it's $100,000 to personal, any person that's injured. And then the 300,000 is if more than one person's injured, so it's giving you different things there. So if you're in a car wreck and you got two other people in the car, what the insurance company is saying, we'll pay $100,000 for one person that's injured, and we'll pay up to $300,000 for everybody that's injured. So if you got 6 people in your car and all of them get hurt really bad, probably not gonna be enough. All right, I know one of my friends, I was in a wreck when I was about your guys' age. One of my friends was driving, but it was my mom's car, and there was like 6 of us in the car. And,
Seems familiar. I wonder why.
and a couple of the people got hurt pretty bad. And the insurance company covered most of it, and we were lucky that they were friends, so nobody actually come back and tried to sue us or anything else, because they didn't cover everything. But most of them were say, well, we have insurance, it'll cover it. Now, I don't know that I'd count on that always, because my son was in a wreck, and the kid that was in the car with him, I thought was one of his friends. Well, for the last 3 years, I've been getting sued by his family because they didn't think that the insurance company gave them enough money.
Is it the family or like the kid wanting to sue?
The family. Kid didn't have nothing. Kid's an idiot. He didn't have anything to do with it. He wasn't smart enough to decide whether to sue or not.
My aunt was in a wreck, I think like 5 years ago, with my youngest cousin, and it was the most stupid thing somebody could pull in front of somebody else for. He was gonna let his dog use the bathroom in the Kmart parking lot and cut her off, and she rear-ended him. Her and my cousin both got a settlement of like, I think $100,000 apiece.
Really?
My mom and my brother were driving through the Walmart parking lot, and at the time, my brother didn't have his license. My mom was just taking him through the parking lot so he could drive a little bit. And, you know how in Eaton, when you're coming in on the right side, but the first entrance at the end of the, lot?
Like Bob Fisher's, or not Bob Fisher's, Bob's.
Bob Evans?
Yeah, Bob
Yeah.
Evans.
And then there's that one exit that you can't really see. Well, they were coming through, and this guy just was hauling through it, like, fast. And he blew that stop sign. They hit the side of her car, and the guy tried to, like, pull a smooth one on my mom and said, oh, if you do this for me, I won't call the cops on you. And my mom was like, absolutely not. So, he was gross.
Sounds like it.
A douche, yeah.
Yeah.
The 2 formulas, and these are what we're gonna use today. When you write this down, if I write liability, collision, comprehensive, the premium part you really don't need. Then once you find that answer, you're gonna take the base premium times the driver rating factor. And this is why, Skylar, I was saying a minute ago, everybody sitting in this room other than me your driver rating factor, pretty high. Because if you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, that rating factor is pretty high. And what it means is they're gonna take your annual base premium, so me and you could have the exact same cars, exact same insurance, exact same everything. My driver rating is gonna be like 1 point something. Your driver rating is gonna be like 3 point something. And that's if you've had no trouble.
Isn't it the same way, like, men's insurance is higher than women's or something like that? Or
Some of the
certain-
times.
Yeah.
For certain ages. Once you get to my age, then no, it's not, there's not a whole lot of difference there.
Shouldn't it be more like based on history of accidents?
Well, but Seth, how long have you been driving?
0? Well, unless if you count a golf cart.
So, what history do you have of wrecking?
0?
All right, so they can't go off of that. They're not gonna say, oh, well, Tage just got his license, so he's had no wrecks, so he must be a good driver. No, that's not the way it works.
I know that. I just mean like,
I may have not driven, but I'm not
What's the
You
word?
already have your
Oh.
record history on lock.
I don't know, should there be like, I don't know, like 3 strikes you're out kind of thing?
Well, no. With the insurance company, Seth, with you, let's say you went out, you got your license, and you were in a wreck today, it's probably gonna be 1 strike and you're out, because the insurance company's gonna drop you, and then you're gonna have to have high coverage. I had a ticket when I was, how old was I, 17, had a ticket, and from the time I was 17 till the time I was 25, I was on high-risk insurance. And that's the way, if you guys, as you're driving, think about that. All right, because.
I mean, unless you know about the 3 strikes you're out, right?
My friend Mila, she had her license for like, I don't know, maybe 5 months or so, like not very long.
I had mine for 6.
And she looked down at her phone while in the car with one of her friends, and she was on 503, and she went off the road and like smacked into a telephone pole, and her insurance is now like a lot, and she still has hospital bills because she was she got concussed, and her friend I think just spraying something, but.
Think about 4 speeding tickets and destruction of private property.
What'd you destroy?
I didn't know that's in the middle of the affairs.
When you get to age 25, usually your insurance will drop a little bit, as long as you haven't had a whole bunch of silliness on it. So there's certain plateaus that they go by, so age 25 is one of them. When you get to age 30, it drops a little more. And then when you get to my age, it sort of levels off and just stays about the same from the time you're 40 till you get so old. Then I think, and I haven't got to that point yet, so I don't really know, but then I think it starts going back up. So if I get to 70 or something and I'm still driving, then it starts going back up, because the people of that age have more accidents than people who are 40 years old.
The other day, I was in the B&B, and there was a guy in there, and he was like, everybody just like randomly talks in the B&B. And there was a dude in there, and he was talking about how he's had like 45 surgeries, and like he's going in for like 15 more, and I'm like, dude, I don't even think you should be able to like get in your driver's seat right now. You're like literally a bionicle man.
I was in there about a month ago, and they had this guy had to be 75 or 80 years old, and they had him doing the eye thing, and they were helping him. No, it's not an A. No, it's not on the right. No, don't help him. Daggone, I don't want him on the road if he can't see.
I'll help that man.
Well, there were many things
Wow, man, that's bloody clever.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, you're allowed to
That's
say
true.
somebody who doesn't have their license.
I still didn't get mine taken away.
Cause you don't have
Your
to.
call.
Yes. Yes. 1 second.
I was time for six.
The assignment, get your books out, calculators out, get the chart out. We should be able to run through this in about 15 minutes. Yes. Sure. Bo, they want you in the office.
Alright.
Bolly, what did you do?
I don't even know.
Bo, tell them you ain't got time for all this.
Oh,
I had them going to the end bracket. Yeah, that did not last.
I don't even know where they at. Yeah, I think it will.
Girl, that blue.
Did I say his name? Bolly?
What they're looking
Huh?
for.
The blue book all the way to the left,
Oh.
on the
Like Bluey.
fourth, or
Really?
second shelf up.
Second up the green books.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ebersole. You actually gave me the right directions.
Nice one.
That I
Mine
can
were just more
understand. That I can
depth.
understand though, Sky.
You just are stupid and
Hey, that's not
aren't
nice.
able to follow directions.
That's not
Hey,
nice.
remember your remember your R's.
Thanks.
Read. That takes
Dude,
some
this is
time.
my lunch
If you
buffet.
need a calculator, I think there's a couple in that box back there.
You think I carry my remote? I'm not her
Like,
favorite.
just English name,
Like.
What about
Oh my God.
Cornfield?
I did
Kylie
that
asked
before
me
you.
yesterday, she was like, if you're mom,
Wait,
who's the dad?
we already
And I
did
was like,
this.
you don't have one, sorry.
Now we did 2 pages, we did 4 pages ago.
All of your fatherless. And-
352. Are we ready?
Yeah, I already did this.
That's good. So now you can just follow along and make sure you got the right answers and fix them. And
Well, how long are we at?
so you're going to use this chart.
I was like, you know, yesterday,
Pierce has a 1.3 driver rating, and his car is in the age group A and insurance rating group 14. The coverage he wants is 50,000, 100,000 bodily injury, and 25,000 for property damage. So what you're going to do on this, you're going to add, first we got to find the base. To find the base, you're going to add, and I'm going to write this over here to the side so we have it the whole time. Base equals,
Finally got me for no parking pass. We got most of it. We made it to 4th quarter. Fucking copy.
liability plus collision plus, what was the other one? Comprehensive. So you're gonna add those 3 things together each time, then your annual premium, you're gonna take this answer, the base, and you're gonna times it by your driver rating. Hopefully you guys are gonna give me the right answers, because I'm not gonna pay any attention. Don't give me the right answers, and you'll have the wrong answers on the paper. I got it.
It's not one person, it's another. Go back home.
I knew it. I told it.
Dylan, hurry and you can get caught up. We're doing the homework together. So for this, Pierce says his car is in the A14 group. A14 group. Somebody look on the chart. In the A14 group, what's the collision insurance costing?
322.
322, so 322 plus, and these, I'm not putting them in the same order that I have up here, does it really matter? How about for comprehensive, what's the A14 group?
127.
127, everybody agree with that? And then it said for property damage and the bodily injury limits, he wanted 5,100 and, what was it? 25,000. So we go up here, 50, 100, 25,000. How much is that going to cost him? 309. Somebody add those 3 up for us. $758, that's your first answer. $758, that's his base insurance. No. No, the deductible is how much, so he's paying this for his insurance. The deductible is, if he is in a wreck, he's got the insurance, but he starts off, he's gotta pay the first, whatever the deductible is of the wreck. Then the annual premium, we take that number, 758, and we times it by his driver rating. What was his driver rating?
1.30.
What is it?
Not, well, wait a minute, no, 1.30.
1.30. So multiply those two. What's that give you?
985. 40.
985.40. Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
That's what it's actually going to cost him per year. Again, this driver rating, based on past, what's happened in the past for you. If I had a bunch of speeding tickets, my driver rating would be high, all right? If you're young, 16, 17, 18 years old, high. If you're 40, somewhere in that range, then low, as long as you haven't had a bunch of tickets and stuff. You even see now, some of these insurance companies have those little things that you can put on the car, and they see how you drive, and you can get your insurance to go down. So they do that because if you have that little box on there, you're more likely to not drive stupid and erratic and everything, and it's helping them out, because then they get your money and they don't ever have to pay anything back out. Next one. Number 3, somebody, so I don't have to keep looking at it. Somebody look at number 3. Tell us what we're looking at.
Driver factor is 1.60.
All right. We're gonna need that on the second part, right?
I would assume so.
We're gonna go ahead and write 1.60 there, times whatever we end up with.
Age group D and group rating 12.
12 and, what'd you say, D?
Yeah.
12 and D, what's that?
That's 240.
240 for collision, what's the comprehensive?
Yeah.
86.
86 plus the top, what's property damage and bodily injury damage? What's he getting, or she getting, or whoever it is? 100 and 300, that's over here, and then how much?
383.
383, so it's 50,000?
Yeah.
So 383, somebody add those 3 for us.
I was probably gonna say it before you,
Tell him not to.
but like, if don't say it before.
I got you.
It's 709.
709.
Is that what you got, Bo?
That is what I got.
So that's, 709 is the base insurance. Take that times the 1.60. It's gonna give us how much the insurance actually cost us.
You can say it, Bo.
All right.
What if I want to say
$1,134.
1,134 what?
44.
0.4. So what do we make sure we do on the end there?
Zero.
0. So that's how much the insurance would cost you for a year. Next one. Let's run through these sort of quick. For the base, doesn't matter if we do the top or the bottom first, so whichever one they tell us first is the one that I do
1,
first.
200
So 100, 200,
be 365.
25,000.
Yeah.
So 365 plus what age group and stuff is the car?
It's the D14.
D14. What's D14 give us?
277.
And D14 for comprehensive. Somebody help him out. What's D14 for comprehensive?
110.
110. Add those up, what do we get?
752.
752.
Yes.
Anybody else get that? Yes, no, maybe? Annual, we take the 752 times, what was the driver rating?
1.
1?
Yeah.
Anybody have any idea what kind of driver rating is that?
It looks
You're a
like
real good driver.
752 times 1.
Alright, so that means all they're gonna charge you is just the base cost?
I bet whoever this is stops at intersections without a stop sign.
Number 5, base. What do they tell us on this one? What was that? 100, 300.
50,000.
So how much is that?
50,000 property damage.
So what's our
That's
383.
383 plus what kind of car they got? What age group is that?
322.
What is it? 322?
Yeah.
So it's A14. And what's the comprehensive?
127.
127. Add those three together.
You want to give it a legend?
No, but we can do it.
832.
832.
Yeah, that's what I got.
That's one of our answers. That's the base salary. Annual salary. What was this person's driver rating?
Voice is sounding very feminine today.
Really? 1.
1 again?
Yeah.
Number 6.
Hurt your feelings, hurt. It's okay. He wants nice opinions.
Base salary.
Insurance.
You see my name?
No, he said base salary.
Oh, I thought you said, hey, Skylar.
100, 300.
100, 300, and what?
100,000.
100,000, so how much is that?
394.
394 plus collision. What kind of car do they have?
A15, which is 343.
What do you think, before we go on, what do you think if a car's age group is A, what's that telling you?
Newer.
It's a newer car. If it's D, it's an older car, right? That's why for the older cars, it costs less. For the insurance, newer cars cost more because they're worth more. What is A15 for comprehensive?
142.
Add those three up.
879.
What if I wanted to say?
You didn't ask.
Is that the bid for today?
I guess it is.
879 times, what was the driver rating?
Like 3.55.
3.55?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of driver is this?
A bad driver.
That's
Not
a
a very
regular
good
driver right there.
Elijah driving.
I wasn't gonna say it.
What's that give you?
3,120.45.
I wasn't gonna
Elijah, you're gonna have fun with insurance.
say. If you want insurance.
They're gonna be like, you're on your own, dog.
Number 7. What kind of car we got, or what kind of stuff, insurance do we have on 7?
We have a 1 to 2, so like 100, 200.
100, 200? I mean, for property damage.
100,000.
So what's that number?
386.
386 plus,
Wait, is it 3,000 what they're paying a month or a year?
Year.
That's-
Annual.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Collision,
That's still $260 a month.
325,
325. Comprehensive,
134.
add those three up.
845.
It's a good time.
Driver rating,
2.65.
2.65
Yep.
times that 845 that we just got. What's that give you?
1,066, 10.
Say it again.
1,066, 10.
1,066 and 10 cents.
Yeah.
No, that's not what
It's not what you got.
I got $2,239.25.
Is that what you got, Tish?
Yeah.
$2,239.35.
25 cents.
25 cents.
What did you do, big guy?
$2,239.25.
Yeah, there we go.
Of course, they would be the one that person.
I got 2,233.
Everybody do it again.
Alright. Let's do this then.
2.65 times 8.
Yeah, but it's right.
The one we have up there is right.
Yeah.
$2,239.25. What number are we on, 8?
Yeah.
Number 8, base.
I know that needs some hope.
300.
300. How much property damage?
437.
437 plus collision,
325.
325.
Yeah.
Comprehensive,
134.
134. Add those three.
896.
That's their base. Annual, what's the driver rating?
3.35.
3.35.
$3,001.6. That's what I got.
00.
001.
60.
2060. Number 9, base.
100.
It'd be 370.
374 plus collision.
No, it'd be 383.
It's 383.
I was looking at the next one.
383. What is it for collision?
134.
134. Comprehensive,
Wait, no, that was comprehensive.
okay, so collision.
It's 310 and 129 for the,
So this 134 is wrong?
yeah,
310 and 129?
yeah,
Is that what we're going with? Yes, no, maybe?
yeah.
Somebody add those up. You agree, Aiden?
Yeah.
Now what? Add them up.
822.
822. I'm not looking at my paper anymore, so I hope you guys will tell me right on all this stuff. Annual, what's the driver rating?
2.15.
What's that give you?
1767.30 per year.
Number 10, same kind of problem?
Yeah.
Base. How much for the
100, 200,
100, 200,
65,
and
50,000.
50,000?
374.
374 plus collision or comprehensive, I don't care which one you give me first.
277.
277,
Yeah.
other one,
110.
110. Add those up,
761.
And then the rate is 310.
3.1 up
Yeah.
times 761, what's that give us?
2,359. 10 cents.
10 cents?
Yeah.
A different kind of problem,
No. It's a challenge problem.
challenge problem.
Or yeah, I guess it does want more information. It's got A, B, and C.
Well, it wants base premium, and then his annual premium if he gets 20% discount by increasing his deductible to 200.
So everybody, we have this,
Yeah.
and you erase it. Number 11, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're doing the same thing on the first two parts. We want the base, so you're still doing the same thing. For base, how much for the liability?
25 to 100.
Would be
25,000.
319.
319, everybody agree with that? How much for collision?
Uh, 203. And 62.
60 what?
62.
Add those up, what do we get? Just to let you guys know, every time, that's answer part A. Every time I see that we get a letter from our car insurance, I go hide for a couple days. So my wife hates paying it. It's not as bad as it was, because one of my sons is off our car insurance now, but when we had 3 sons on there, plus my wife has 2 cars, plus we have another car that just sits in the barn and does nothing that we have to carry insurance on. She's not happy to pay it. So these numbers that we're getting, $2,000 and $3,000, it's probably a little low. These are old insurance numbers. Annual, what's this person's driver rating? 2.15? 3.15. What's that give us?
1,839.60 cents.
That's your second answer. Now, what'd they say? He was gonna do what?
Take like 20% off, something like
Alright, so he's gonna raise his deductible from $50 to $200, and then it's 20% lower. So all we do there is take that 1839.60 and we times it by what?
0.20.
0.20. What's that give us?
368.
92? Is that, how much his insurance is gonna cost him now? No, that's how much
He's saving.
saving. So we take the 1839.60 minus 367.92. So what's his insurance gonna cost him if he ups his deductible?
$1,471.68.
Remember I said that we just, a couple years ago, we upped our deductible. Our deductible was like $500, and we upped it to like $1,000, or it was $200, and we upped it to $1,000 to try to drive the rate down a little bit. That's what it does there. The health insurance here at the school, we couldn't afford, no, and all the people here at the school couldn't afford it, because health insurance is so high. My deductible right now is like $5,000, whereas it used to be like $500. But health insurance is so ridiculous right at the moment that to try to keep the cost down, we had to up the deductible by that much. Number 12, what kind of problem is it? Same setup?
Well,
I think they want us to just do it twice and compare them or something, isn't it?
yeah, it says how much more will our annual premium be if she increases the liability coverage to 300, 100.
So, let's do the first part. Base, for the first one, what's our liability?
100, 200, 386.
386 plus collision,
300,
comprehensive.
113.
Might add those up for us.
799.
That's a 9. Annual, what's the driver rating?
4.85.
Wow.
That's no Elijah rating.
4.85, somebody multiply that for us.
Just round up. 3,875. 15 cents.
This is probably a person that needs to try to figure out how to lower the rate. For the second way, I think most of it's the same, isn't it? Except all they're upping is the liability, is that right? So what'd they say they're moving the liability up to?
300, 300, and 100.
So what's that give us? It's not 386 anymore. Say it again? 437. I think the other two, the collision and comprehensive, stay the same though, don't they? They didn't say that she was moving that up any? Alright, so add those three together. What's that give us? 850. Driver rating stayed the same, right? So 850 times 4.85, what's that give you?
$4,122.50.
Is that our answer?
Yeah.
What'd they ask you for?
Which one's cheaper? Or will they ask the price difference?
So what do we do with these two answers?
Subtract.
Subtract them, so take those two right there and subtract them. That's gonna tell us the difference, how much more she's gonna pay now